misses the point completely that the big issue for all of us is that biodiversity, the variety of life, comes about in both its natural form and then in human intervention form by making things fit for purpose and adapted to the environment in which it is. So we thought it was much more suited here to demonstrate a very large variety of creatures so that the public started to realize how heavily big agricultural business had intervened in the way that we appreciate the livestock on the land and its suitability and growing habit in the various environments it is. So when I was approached about the European Black Bee project, I got very excited about it when it was explained to me more and more. Less in terms of the sort of entomological details of it, but more in terms of the notion of the fancy dandy Italian bees coming over here and shagging our girls, and actually, making the breeding stock less suitable for future adaptability. And what's really interesting about this discussion, as I'm sure will be explained later, is there is a sense in the way that we've all been brought up to think of Darwinism as being people adapting to the survival of the fittest, but it's not very fair if you're supposed to survive against the fittest. If someone brings in, I think about 19,000 foreign queens every year to compete, and then they breed like hell, and then they die. Whereas actually the European black bee is a very, very potent survivor, and the work that's being done by the charity is very effective. I mean, obviously the first reserve has begun at Mount Edgecombe, and there are more imagined, and today I think it's officially the second, although behind the scenes there are plans to be in many different other areas working with beekeepers and landowners to create a consolidation of interest in both the survival and the growth of the European black bee. But one of the things that's really important is we're not a bunch of nerds who say black bees rule. That's not what it's about. We actually are aware that of the interests of the other creatures, the other bees, the other flies, and so on, the whole pollinating industry, if that's the only way to put it, but you know what I mean. We don't want to be seen as special pleaders, other than we think that the imbalance needs to be put into place. Now, we're very excited about this. The detail of this will come up here. I've probably forgotten lots of things I should say, but I actually, what I love about people who are interested in bees, you've only got to start asking one question, and then you can sit off and go to sleep for hours. What I mean is because they're so passionate about it, and this is a really important passion, and it is in very, very good hands. So without further ado, can you put right all the wrongs of my first introductory speech, and then put us not to sleep, but mellifluously seduce us with your tale. Over to you, sir.